Hey there, good looking. Join me for this shoulder strengthening workout. Listen, we will start with the Tabata type drill at the beginning to hit into the smaller muscles of the shoulder, your rotator cuff in particular, so that we bulletproof your shoulder joint. And then we're going to move into some more traditional strengthening exercises for the shoulder joint. Now, for equipment, I recommend a few pairs of dumbbells, and dumbbells that you consider are light, moderate, and heavy for your shoulder. So for shoulders, it's going to be quite different than legs, right? For reference, I have a pair of 15s, 8s, and 5s. We'll also need a piece of tubing that can be with handles or a TheraBand, it doesn't matter, and a rolled towel. All right, let's go get started. All right, before we get started, if you own a fitness watch, you might want to push start on that. For settings, I'm using a strength setting on my Apple Watch. All right, let's warm up the shoulders, and as we do, I'll chat about the workout. Let's just start with a single arm. I want you to rotate the arm, leading with the thumb, and then we're going to turn so the pinky's leading the wall or facing the wall behind you, and then come back to center. Do it again. Thumb, and then we externally rotate pinky. We're not worrying too much about speed here. What we're focusing on more importantly is feeling each articulation through the joint. This is a movement that they call CARs, controlled articular rotations, and it's a great way to warm a joint up, increase the mobility of that joint, and for our sake today, get us ready for the workout. Let's do one more. All right, other side. Again, make the movement really big, leading with the thumb. Now let's turn the pinky to the wall behind us and rotate. So the rest of your body is very still. We're trying to get the movement just through the shoulder. Knees are soft. One more here. Beautiful. Taking it down onto the ground in a pose that they call puppy pose in yoga. Love this. Let's get the arms out wide. We're going to add movement to it though. I want you to drop the chest to the ground. Head goes in between the ears. Bum is kind of pointed up to the ground, kind of like how a puppy plays. And then lift. Let's do that again. So here we're getting into the shoulders as well as into the T-spine or your thoracic spine. But we're adding movement. It's always nice to do a little bit of movement with our stretches, so what they call dynamic stretches, before a workout, and then we'll hold it for some static afterwards. Last one here. On all fours. Left hand behind the ear. Let's bring that left elbow in towards the other elbow and then rotate and look up. Moving through the shoulder once again and into that T-spine too. One more. Release the left, right under the shoulder, right hand now light behind the ear. Let's bring that elbow under the body and then rotate, look up. Last two. Plant the hands back under the shoulders. Push the ground away, rounding the back, upper back, what we call protraction. So we're just moving through the shoulder blades here. And now let's bring the shoulder blades together, taking it nice and slow. Do it again. Push away, protract. Now bring the shoulder blades together, retract. So I'm not moving the low back. The movement is coming through the shoulder blades. So about kind of mid-back bra strap all the way up. That's where we want to think about the movement. And I'm literally pushing myself away from the ground. Let's do one more here. And release. All right, grab the towel and your lightest dumbbell, preferably a 3 or 5 pounder. Take yourself onto your side. Top elbow's going to rest on your towel. Hand's going to rest on the belly. From here, we're going to work 20 seconds, so a higher rep count here, lower rep count for your external rotation or your rotator cuff. Now, this is a small grouping of muscles. It's going to fatigue pretty darn quickly. So if you need to let go of the weight and continue the movement just with your hand only against gravity, go for it. As mentioned, it's a 20-second time here, and then we'll move into a side plank with a reverse fly, the same arm. All right. Now you can come here if you don't feel like going into a side plank, and then lift that arm up and down. Otherwise, those of you with me, we can go into this position. So if you find that side plank is really irritating on that bottom shoulder, just keep the hip down. Once again, this can easily be done with no weight if you're really struggling. So this shouldn't be a struggle. You should definitely feel a burning in the muscle, but it should feel successful and you can keep the form. All right, let's do one more each, and then we'll switch to the other side. So we've got that towel underneath the inside of the elbow there. Woo-hoo-hoo, lift up and down. Whoa. And see, I'm letting go of my dumbbell. So I should have actually grabbed a 3. 3 pounds would have been just perfect for me on this one. I don't want you struggling too much, but I do want it to be burny. So pick that weight. And again, it might just be no weight like I am. Last one. All right. So you have that option. You can just stay down here if you're not interested in doing the side plank, or you can lift up. You can also go full side plank if you'd like. Up. Now we're just bringing that arm just to above the shoulder and then lowering it just underneath the body here. We'll move to the other side when the timer goes. So these are our drills, as mentioned in the intro, to help bulletproof your shoulder. And let's take it to the other side. So we start with external rotation. And remember, this arm was bracing that last set, so it's already going to be a little fatigued. So we got a 90-degree bend to the elbow. We're keeping that elbow resting on our towel. We're not moving too much through the wrist. We're just trying to make that movement come into the shoulder joint, externally rotating. All right, let's take her down. Once again, if you're not interested in doing a side plank, you'll be in this position. Rest of you, let's lift the hip. Let's get that dumbbell, lift up, line it up with our body, lower down. This bottom shoulder, if you're in the side plank with me, don't let your shoulder drop in towards your ear. Push out so you've got length between your ear and that shoulder. You want to add a bit more, you can always lift that top leg as well, or go into that full side plank as mentioned earlier. All right, here we go. Rotator cuff. One more of each, and then we move on. Oh, wow. Well, at least I'm equally a loss of the same rep count on each side. So again, I was just too much. I was starting to use my wrist, so I dropped the dumbbell and just using my hand against gravity. All right. Take it from here if this is where you're interested in being, or join me and reverse fly. Last one. All right. Grab a quick sip of water. We are moving into those traditional strength exercises I was talking about to really hit all 3 heads of the shoulder joint. For the first grouping, I want you to grab what you consider the heaviest. For the shoulders, we're doing a press motion, and then we'll also need your tubing. So let's get set up. Mirroring me, dumbbell in this hand. Hand's gonna rest in front of the shoulder joint. I want you to create tension in the other arm by making a fist, and then press up, slowly lower. So I want you to try to do as strict of a press as you can, as opposed to using the legs in what we call a push press. So I'm trying my 15 on this. My hand is in front of my body and is in front slightly when I extend up. That's the normal arc of the shoulder joint. It doesn't like too much behind motion. So give yourself some space there. We have 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds recovery. Last one. Good job. All right. Now, by creating that tension in the other arm, it actually gives us some more power on the working side. So let's try it on this side. We have that dumbbell resting again in front of the shoulder. We're going to tighten up the fist, create some fire in the core, and then pressing up, exhaling, and slowly lowering. My knees are soft. My abs are pulled in. So it's almost like somebody's going to come sucker punch me, and I'm bracing for that impact, and that's tightening up my deep core muscle called the transverse to help stabilize me while I do this heavy lift. When this is complete, we'll grab our band to work into more of the rear delt. Make sure you have a weight that's challenging yourself, so we're near the end. You should be getting fatigued. Grab your band. Band pull apart is exactly how it sounds. You're just pulling the band apart, drawing the shoulder blades together, and then releasing back to center. We wanted to make less emphasis on the elbow, more onto the shoulder. So you may have to readjust the hands a few times after a few reps. Okay, so let's give it a try. We're pulling out, shoulder blade squeeze. Woo! I already feel that. And release. Side view. Here we go. So I do have a bend in my elbow, but what I'm not doing is rowing the elbows. I'm just pulling the band apart through the shoulders. So the movement from behind, squeezing the shoulder blades right there, slowly back home. So I'm not rushing the movement. I want you to create what they call time under tension so that we really recruit all of the muscles, fatigue them so that they can get stronger on you. Let's do one more. Woo. All right, now for a little cardio boost, our fourth move is going to be an alternating snatch. So we're starting with the heavier dumbbell just in front of the knees, underneath the body. And then we're going to throw it up and then back down. Other arm. So think about zipping up a big hoodie. What we're not doing is bringing it and doing another press. So this is more of a hip move while the shoulder goes along for the ride. Hup. Good. Side view. Hup. Now you can make that fist with the other arm to create more tension. I'm using the hips to push and get that dumbbell up. Alternating, getting a little bit of heart rate response here. Let's do one more so we've got equal each arm and release. All right, so we're going to go through those 4 moves one more time. We have 2 sets of everything today. So mirroring me, dumbbell in hand, have it slightly in front. I prefer the palm facing me. I find it feels better in my shoulder. You can by all means have the palm facing away. Tighten up the core, tighten up the other arm, breathe out, press up. Knees are soft. Those abs are engaged. Somebody's coming to sucker punch you. You see them coming and you're bracing for that impact, firing up that transverse. Now, the great news about this move, too, is we also are getting our triceps as well. At that back of our arm, most of us want to train, get strong. Ooh, getting spicy. Last one. All right, so that's where you need to be. You need to be thinking, ooh, this is getting spicy, PJ. When are we done? Then we know we got the right weight. All right, so let's get ourselves set up. Enjoy this 20-second rest, though. Arm in front, wrist is straight, fire up the core, fire up the other arm, nice and tall on the body, softness to the knees, and press. You can see I'm in bare feet today. I encourage you to give it a try if you haven't already. It's a really great way to work, obviously, the bottoms of your feet. And believe it or not, it also gives you a more balance because we can really feel the ground under the feet. Sometimes those built-up shoes, especially Hoka's in particular, are not a great shoe for training in. Great for running and walking, but not in the gym. Not for lifting. One more. Woo. All right. I know I just blew my Hoka potential for sponsorship, didn't I? I'm on a roll. If you get me going about F1 racing, you'll realize I'll also never be asked by Red Bull to be sponsored. All right, here we go. We got band pull apart. 3, 2, 1. Again, we're moving through the shoulder blades. I'm just keeping it real with you guys. So where do you want to feel this one? Definitely more behind the shoulder, what we call your rear deltoid. You might be like me too, feeling it in my mid-back, so the muscles kind of in between the shoulder blades. So those are all good things. That's where you want to feel it. So adjust your tubing so you do feel it there, or perhaps readjust your form. We have alternating snatches for the last time, right here. Oh man. All right, so remember, this is a hip move, and it is a very advanced move too, so hang in there. And heavier sometimes helps. And this is one of the moves where it does help. You could just be throwing that light dumbbell like a piece of paper. I want it to have a little bit of weight so that you have to use those hips to get it up. And then you'll get the exercise. So it's really hip driven here. Zip up. Zip up. Good. Other arm. Making a fist. Tightening that core. I actually come right up off my heels as that dumbbell comes up to the shoulders and then up above the head, then my heels drop. This is a fun one to do with kettlebells as well. Time. All right. I'd love for you to grab either your very light weights or light moderate. So I'm using my 8s. Let's get the feet hip width and then knees are soft. Now I want you to keep the toes, knees, hips, and shoulders to me. One hand in front, one hand by your side. Lift up, side or front raise, and then we do the other side. So I call this an L raise. You're creating sort of the letter L with the arms. We are only lifting to shoulder height. My wrist is staying straight. My elbows are soft. I'm not turning my body with the weight and doing a swinging motion. Please don't do that. We are very deliberate, taking it slow, remembering that time under tension principle. And that time under tension is a keeper. If you don't have a variety of dumbbells, we can easily increase your intensity by slowing the movement down. Deal? Let's grab that band. Oh, no, I lied. Grab those heavies again. This is gonna look like a row to you, but we're gonna come apart and away from the body to hit the rear delts a bit more. So let's hip hinge, pull up, and then let the hands go out and away. So they're not coming towards the armpits or towards the rib cage like our row pattern. They are coming out and away. And we can use heavier weights because the lats are involved. But they have found that this movement will actually get more rear delt involvement than our traditional reverse flies. Now we've got that core drawn in, pretending somebody's coming to sucker punch us, and that's going to help support our low backs. Ooh, I like this. One more. I like that one a lot. All right, grab that band. Now remember our pull aparts. Now we're gonna go in a diagonal pattern. So we're gonna create sort of this letter X. Same muscle groups, okay, but we're hitting different fibers because we're changing the angle of it. So same thing, we're gonna try to pull through the shoulders more and then let the elbows have slight bend to them. Wrists are fairly straight and neutral. One arm's going up, one arm's going down. And as mentioned before, when we use the band, you may have to readjust after a couple of reps just to get that sweet spot with your band. When we get to this position here, I want you to think about pulling the shoulder blades into your back pocket and together. Back pocket and together. Now we'll move into a bit of a cardio drill next. Still hitting the shoulders though. One more. Oh, baby. Woo. All right. Grab onto one letter dumbbell. We're taking it into a jack and press. I've done this a lot in my workouts. For a low impact version, you're gonna step and press. Step and press. Step and press. High impact. Good. Now, if you're feeling extra spicy, a dumbbell in each hand. And soft. Knees are slightly bent. Woo. All right, we just got one more round of those 4 moves and then we're done. Grab those lighter dumbbells. For reference, I have 8s. This is our L raise. So we want toes, knees, hips, shoulders to me, please. One hand in front, one hand to the side. Let's lift to shoulder height. Slowly come back home. And then other arm in front, other arm to your side. Let's take it slow on the way back home. Remember, time under tension. Woo! Last one. Excellent. All right, we're taking those heavies. All right, and again, the pattern is, I'm gonna go in a bit so you can see it. It's in and coming out. So I'm not coming in my body, I'm coming out with the hands. All right, so let's get that hip hinge. Dumbbells in front, pull out and away. My hands are on a bit of an angle in relation to my body. Boy, do I feel the back of my shoulders. So this is such a good posture move. Another great exercise to you to bulletproof your shoulder joint. Last one. Come to stand. Grab your band. All right, we got diagonal pull apart. Okay. Whew. Let's cherish these 10 seconds here that we got left. All right, here we go. Bring the arms out in front and diagonal. And the other side. So my band is pushing right against me. Whew, almost there, 10 more seconds. Ooh, all right, final move. We have the jack and press. I'm gonna try my 8s in each hand. Remember your low impact version, you step, 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 step. 3, 2, 1, ready? Here we go. Last 10 seconds. We got this. Woo, time. Nicely done, you. All right, march it out, grab a sip of water. Whew. Cheers. We are gonna get into some stretches and then you can continue on with your day. Oh yeah, that one burned. All right. Whew. Okay, let's take one arm across, thumb up, and then bend the elbow at 90 degrees and press in. If you got to march it while you're doing this because your heart rate's still up like mine, go for it. Now, in all those moves, if in the future you struggle with the shoulder injury, you can easily do on the injured side no weight to try to increase range of motion, encourage blood flow in the injured area. Now let's take the same arm, behind the head and between the shoulder blades as best you can. Let the other hand just give it a little gentle nudge down, stretching in the tricep for sure because we used it a lot in our press motion. Now push the hip away, lean away. Release, take the other side, push, pull, bring across your body, and now bend the elbow and press in a bit more. Now in between the shoulder blades, walk it down as best you can. Give the stretch a little bit more by using this arm, pushing that elbow down, and then let's lean away so we get that side body into the serratus anterior, into your lats. Always stretch also the shoulder and the tricep. And center, finding either a wall or door frame. Get your right elbow up at shoulder height, palm resting on your door frame or wall. Step forward with your inside leg, lean forward, and now I want you to turn your head and your upper body away from that right side. So we're stretching into the pec as well as the anterior deltoid. This is also a really lovely stretch if you've been told you need to work on your posture. Yes, we do need to strengthen those mid-back muscles in the rear delt, but we also need to stretch the front. When we have this, keep holding that, this forward motion, these guys are super tight, so we need to open them up. All right, let's do the other side. So I've got a bent elbow, it's at shoulder height. You can go a bit higher, play around with the angle. Different angle will give you different stretch in that muscle. Inside leg steps forward. Now we're going to lean forward a bit and then turn our body away from that left arm. Look over the right shoulder so we get into the neck as well. And breathe. Release. Let's take this hand behind the back. Chin is centered, ear to shoulder, and maybe you can encourage a little deeper stretch into the neck with the other hand. Getting side neck as well as a little bit of medial deltoid. Back to center, other hand behind. Chin is in, ear to shoulder, and then if you'd like a little bit deeper stretch, use the hand. Release. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to reading your comments down below, so please leave one. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next workout. Bye. That was a really pathetic bye, wasn't it? Let's do that again. Bye. That was better.